Hello! Hi! How are you today? I am great. I am back to my old self. I have so much energy, and I thought today would be an amazing day to film this exact video. Yeah. But before I tell you what today's video is about, I'm aware that you read the title already. Just play along. Okay. I would like to welcome all of those of you who are new. Hi, hello, welcome. My name is Nikki. This is my channel, Plants, Pots, and Whatnots. And for all of my gluttons for punishment who keep coming back for more, it is amazing to see you. Thank you so much for continuing to come back and support me and my channel. It means so much. So today, I thought we could bust it.
Bust.
You know, like, what I'm trying to say is, I thought it would be fun if we took some common houseplant misconceptions and myths and just busted them. Just break it. Bust it. Oh, I have so much. Like, I just need to run around the block. That was a joke. That's never happening. Okay, anyway, so if you would like to hang out with me and bust some houseplant myths, then let's do that. Come back and we can hang out and bust it.
Bust it.
Boo! You came back. See? Gluttons for punishment. You know what you're getting into. I have no sympathy for you. Okay, in all seriousness, who am I kidding? I'm never overly serious. But let's get to the video. So there's a lot of things that go around and you really never know what to believe and what not to believe. And especially as a new plant parent, it can be really confusing knowing what to listen to, knowing what advice to take. Now, before I get into all of these, please understand that not everyone does everything the same way. Please understand that there is more than one way to do something. But these are things that I really think should be just busted. Just stop thinking these things. Anyway, so I'm just gonna go through a few of them. I'm not really sure how many we have here. I'm just gonna kind of wing it and we'll see like how many I can get through in like about 20 minutes. I'm gonna try to keep it to 20 minutes. 25-ish. Okay. Let's go ahead and get started with myth number one. Myth number one. There are low light loving plants. And this is probably the one that irritates me the most. Plants need light. Like, that's how they grow. That's how they live. Plants need light. There are no plants that are low light loving. So let's bust that myth right now. Plants have to have a certain amount of light. There are plants that are more tolerant of lower light, but they're not actually living. They're probably, if we think about it, just dying more slowly. Yeah, that's what's happening. You're killing your plant slowly. That reminds me of a Fuji song. Anywho, so there are lots of videos online that are like low light loving houseplants and stuff like that. Now, I'm not saying don't put plants in less than ideal lighting situations. All I'm saying is that there's no such thing as a low light loving plant. And there are no plants that will survive very long in a no light type scenario. Really, it's just, like I said, killing them slowly. Even plants like Sansevieria and, oh my goodness, there's so many of them. All the plants that we are told like lower light or can thrive in low light, if you put them in a medium light even or a bright light, those plants will thrive for you. Now, I I understand the whole idea behind low light plants. We want plants to put in spaces that, you know, may get less than adequate light. I have a Sansevieria in my bathroom that gets extremely low light, and it's still doing okay. Is it living its best life? No. Is it even thriving? No. It's probably not that happy. It hasn't grown. Yep, since I put it there. Why? Because plants need light. Okay, I think I've kind of made my point on that one. Let's move on to busting myth number 2. Okay, myth number 2 that I'm about to bust is one that you've heard me talk about before, and that is don't fertilize your plants in the winter. So wrong. I mean, if you've been with me for a while, you know that this is something that I have always said. If your plants are still growing because you have them in conditions in your enclosed home that are basically the same as they would be in the spring or summer, your plants are still gonna grow and therefore still require fertilizer because they're growing. Now, there are exceptions to plants that will, you know, respond a little adversely, that will go dormant, but we'll get to that, or that just slow their growing. If you happen to notice that your plant is not actively growing, then yes, by all means, rein back, cut out whatever you want to do with your fertilizer, but there's no relation between winter and fertilizer. None. Zip. Zero. I don't even know what I'm doing today. I need some tea just to chill me out. Anyway, there's no relation between fertilizing and winter. People make that assumption just saying like, oh, winter, don't fertilize. That's not true. What you need to think of is, oh, winter. Oh, but they're still growing. Okay, fertilizer. I think that's really all I need to say about that one. So let's move on to myth number 3. Myth number 3 is misting increases humidity. I know there's people out there that want to believe this so badly. And you know what? If you enjoy doing it, you know, have at her. Squirt away till your little heart is content. But I am here to tell you that it doesn't help increase your humidity. It might help it increase your humidity for about 10 seconds. But that's about all. When you think about it, I've said this before, if you spray mist on your plant, these are tiny little water droplets. Do me a favor and run a little experiment. Take a flat surface, a dark surface. Get a dark surface. Take your sprayer, mist your table, and then time to see how long it takes that mist to just evaporate into the air. That's the same thing for your plants. So although you're giving them a brief moment of humidity, it doesn't last. So I'm not saying don't mist them, like I said, for like any reason. You know, if you enjoy doing that, if it's therapeutic for you, absolutely do it. But if you think that you need to spray them in order to increase humidity, I gotta bust that myth. Sorry. Anyway, I'm just totally the bearer of bad news today. Anyway, that's basically all I have to say about that. Just in your air, the water evaporates so incredibly quickly that really misting is doing nothing to increase the humidity for your plants. The only foolproof way is to get yourself a humidifier. I mean, you can do the pebble and the rocks thing, but it really doesn't work that well either. And I can tell you all of these things from experience because I have done the misting thing, doesn't work. I've done the pebble tray thing, not enough humidity. Just invest in a humidifier if you're struggling with humidity. Okay, enough said about that one. Let's move on to number 4. Okay, this is a big one. So there's this myth that houseplants clean your air. Yeah, I am so sorry to tell you that. I, even myself, really wanted to believe this one. But you gotta listen to the scientists, right? Because they know what they're talking about. And it has been proven that sadly, houseplants do not clean our air in our homes. I know. If we took a small little space, completely crammed it with as many plants as possible, there is a chance, a pretty good chance, that the VOCs and all the crap in the air would decline. Unfortunately, you would have to have so many plants in your home to the point where it was unlivable. Like, I know I have a lot of plants, but I'm talking like, I would have to cram like a couple thousand plants into this small space right here in order for it to have any effect on the air in my home. So that myth is kind of like busted. Anyway, I know it makes us feel better, and it's okay to believe that houseplants make the air better, and I think that it's probably more of a mental thing. In my opinion, having houseplants in your home just mentally makes you feel better. They're green, they're growing, they're beautiful, they make us happy, and that's why they're good for our health, not because they take pollutants out of the air. I am so sorry to be the bearer of bad news on that one, but we gotta bust that myth. So let's just move on to number 5. Okay. Let's bust myth number 5. Myth number 5 is you should always put rocks at the bottom of your pots. And please don't do this. Really, in essence, all you're doing is making the soil space smaller. If you have a pot this big and then you put rocks in it, now you have the soil space here instead of the full size of the pot. So you're reducing the amount of space that you have for your roots to grow. And also, your roots are going to grow past that soil line and right down into the rocks where you potentially have a water buildup down there. You're just actually eliminating soil space for the roots to grow. And you're really not helping anything. So in order to get proper drainage, if drainage is why you're putting rocks in the bottom, do yourself a favor. Just get a pot with drainage holes in it. And if you have a pot that you really like that doesn't have drainage holes in it, drill some drainage holes. There are all kinds of amazing videos on YouTube that show how to drill drainage holes into ceramic, glass, terracotta, etc., etc., etc. So instead of putting rocks in the bottom of your pot, please just get some drainage holes. Okay, let's move on to myth number 6. Okay. This is the second last one. I think we're gonna have 7. 7. Okay, so myth number 6 is that plants go dormant in the winter. And busted. They don't. If you have the same conditions in your home as you've had all year round, so you have the same lighting, especially if you're using artificial lighting. The majority of my collection is all grown by artificial lights. So if your lighting's not changing, if you live in a place where once it starts to get a little chilly, you close the doors and it's not freezing cold in your house, I don't know why you'd want it freezing cold in your house, then the plant doesn't really notice much of a difference between summer and winter. Do you see what I'm saying? So when a plant doesn't know the difference between summer and winter, it just keeps on growing. When you think of where these plants grow, a lot of them grow down in these tropical climates where it's always warm and they just keep growing. They don't just go, oh, and then wait for spring. That just doesn't, it's just not how plants work. Now, to every rule, there are exceptions. So there are some plants that only live a certain time frame and then will die off for a season. Things like caladiums. I can't even think of anything, but there are a few of them that will actually do that. But if you can keep the same conditions in your home year round, your plants will not go dormant. This is a big misconception, especially with alocasia. And I even saw it, I think this morning, somebody said like, oh, my alocasias are going dormant, it's winter. They're probably dying or something happened to them, because if you're, like I said, if your conditions didn't change, your alocasias shouldn't be dying. So maybe we should talk. I don't know. Anyway, so that is a myth busted, that houseplants go dormant in the winter. Busted. Let's move on to our last and final, and maybe the most important, myth number 7. Okay, are you ready for this? This is a big truth bomb. Are you listening? Okay, because this one's important. I can't tell you how often I hear things like, oh, I don't have a green thumb. Oh my God, Nikki, your thumb is neon green. No, there is no such thing as somebody who is genetically better at taking care of plants than others. It's not a thing. The reason that it appears as though some people have a green thumb and others don't is probably because some people have more of an interest in taking care of plants and finding out what their needs are and doing the things that need to be done to keep those plants healthy and flourishing. And then, you know, but there's no such thing as somebody who has a black thumb, or like, you know, it's not. If you want to keep plants, you just need to learn about the plants that you're keeping. I've had plants for like literally all my life. And I've done a lot of reading. I've done a lot of experimenting. I've killed plants. I've learned lessons. And that's why it appears as though I have a green thumb. What was that? Green thumb. If you really are into plants and you want to have plants, you too can have plants. I know. Anyways, anybody can own plants. It's just a matter of learning about them and educating yourself. So, total myth busted. There's no such thing as a green thumb. Busted. That was a lot of truth bombs. Anyways, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I actually have quite a few more, so if you want like a busted myths part 2, then I could do that for you if you like. But let me know if you like this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate that greatly. And also, if you guys are still here, you guys are my troopers. I love you guys so much. And it has been so much fun seeing all of the little emojis that I tell you guys to give me at the end of my videos. And that's been like really, really cool. And I'm enjoying that immensely. So, if you're still here, what emoji should we use today? You know that little fist bump emoji? That little fist bump? Do that. And if you can't do emojis, then just write fist bump. I'm having fun with this. I hope you guys are too. And it's really cool that I've been able to see from a lot of people who do watch my videos and watch them all the way through to the end, who normally aren't commenters. So I know it's not always easy, and I am notoriously not a huge commenter, mostly because I watch on my TV and I can't comment on the TV, but I always give my little thumbs up. So it's nice to see the people who don't normally comment just putting an emoji, because not everybody has something to say all the time, which is totally fine. Anyway, so fist bump for today's emoji for my friends till the end. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye right now, because I could just, you know me. Okay, wrap it up. Thank you guys all so much for liking and watching and commenting and subscribing. If you're not subscribed already, please consider doing so. It is a huge help for my channel. Let's try to not make me look like I was full of baloney. Let's get me to 10K by February 1st. That's a tall order. But like I said before, if you don't set big goals, you can't achieve big goals. So let's try. Okay, Nikki, I would like you all to have an amazing and wonderful day, night, week, month, and year. I love you all to bitty bits, and I will see you in the next video. Mwah! I would like to welcome all of those of you. Please understand there are more than one way. There are more than one way. Be kind of spread. And what am I trying to, what am I talking, what? It might help increase your fuck. And I've said this before, as always. Fuck, stop talking, Nikki. So, myth number 5. What number are we on? Shoot. Busted. Now I want to go listen to 90s music. Bust a move. Paula, are you there? I think you might have some bloopers this week. You're welcome. Okay.